Right friends, welcome back to questions and answers for 24th week. As I have already reiterated, 23rd week will have 3 modules, 24th week will have 3 modules, 25th week will also have 3 modules, and from 26th week onwards the pattern already got changed. Please look into the channel, then you will come to know about all these things. And the first question, which of the following was not in the itinerary of the President of India during June 2016? The President of the country visited Ghana, Ivory Coast and Namibia. Please look into this slide. This Namibia is situated towards the southwestern part of Africa. Then these two countries, Ivory Coast and then Ghana. This Ivory Coast has got Atlantic coastline and Ghana has got a coastline of Atlantic, and at the same time it opens up to Gulf of Guinea. These things please don't forget. Ivory Coast, Ghana and Namibia, these 3 countries the President of the country visited during the month of June. And if you look at the capitals and currencies of Ghana, Namibia and Ivory Coast, please look into this slide, it will be clear to you. Look into the next question. For undertaking financial transactions using mobile phone, all of you are familiar with the mobile money, that is the transfer of money through mobile phones, and for that purpose mobile money identifier is to be used, which is popularly known as MMID, and MMID is a 7-digit number, please don't forget. As per the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, all of you are familiar about this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. The basic aim of this is to look at the companies which are under severe stress. That means so as to devise a mechanism so as to bring out the companies which are reeling under stress, and IPs will be created for this purpose. IP stands for Insolvency Professional. If the company is into problems, Insolvency Professional will evaluate what are the things to be looked at and how to bring out that company from stress, right? So, Insolvency Professionals will be nominated by Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, right friends? So, if someone talks about IP, Insolvency Professional, to look at the companies which are facing difficult circumstances. Look into the next one. Name the country in Asia which became the first to eliminate mother-to-child HIV. The first country in the world is Cuba. The first country in Asia is Thailand, and here without any treatment the AIDS virus will be transmitted from mother to child in 15% to 45% of the cases. But with the advent of antiretroviral therapy or ARV therapy, the incidence of transmission reduced to less than 2%. So, the access to ARV therapy or antiretroviral therapy made all the difference, and the incidence is reduced to less than 2%. So, the country in Asia which became the first to eliminate mother-to-child HIV is Thailand, and in the world it is Cuba. These things don't forget. World Blood Donor Day was observed on 14th June, and the theme for 2016 is Blood Connects Us All. Look into the next one. You are familiar with these places, Cherrapunji, then Mawsynram. This Cherrapunji and Mawsynram, these 2 places are in Khasi Hills of Meghalaya. Please look into this slide. This is Meghalaya, and these 2 places are situated in Khasi Hills of Meghalaya, and at the same time Hulikal and Agumbe, these places are in Karnataka, situated in the Western Ghats. So, Agumbe and Hulikal, so these are the places in Karnataka. Then Valakkad, this is the place in Kerala. So, these are some of the wettest places in India. So, Mawsynram, this is the wettest place on earth, please don't forget. Average annual rainfall is 11,861 millimeters, and Valakkad is in Kerala. Look into the next one. Name the state government which will undertake a smart pulse survey. through its employees to get feedback from people about its welfare programs. The state we are talking about is Andhra Pradesh. The IT savvy Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu is deputing revenue officials with tablets, and they will collect information from public about various welfare schemes, and they will compile socio-economic data covering about 20 aspects. That is one aspect. And the second aspect is the survey also integrates Aadhaar details with mobile numbers. Renovated Durayappa Stadium was recently inaugurated in Jaffna. The Prime Minister of our country, Narendra Modi, was also associated with inauguration through video conferencing, and this project was named after former mayor of Jaffna who was assassinated. The name is Alfred Thambiraja Durayappa, and Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena inaugurated it. As I have already told you, Indian Prime Minister joined through video conference, and Indian government renovated this stadium at a cost of rupees 7 crore, and in view of the civil war in Tamil dominated Jaffna, this stadium was abandoned since 1997. And if you look at other projects being built by India, 45,000 houses for civil war affected families in northern part of Sri Lanka, then completion of a northern railway project at a cost of $800 million, and all of you are familiar, recently train was inaugurated which connects Colombo with the northern Tamil dominated city of Jaffna, then 200 bed hospital in Vavuniya, and at the same time cultural center in Jaffna is also being built by India in Sri Lanka. And at the same time, please don't forget, Sampur power project in Sri Lanka is being built by India. Government opened Tatkal window to expedite examination of patent applications, and these are looked after by CGPDTM. In India, primarily these patent applications are looked after by Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, which is under the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And in our country, granting patents is taking somewhere around 5 to 10 years. And at present 2.37 lakh patent applications are pending, and government opened the Tatkal window to expedite the process. Look into the next one. Former cricketer Chetan Chauhan was appointed as the chairman of National Institute of Fashion Technology. And Chetan Chauhan, former cricketer, was appointed as chairman for NIFT. NIFT is the statutory body, and it is under the Ministry of Textiles, please don't forget. And as per NIFT Act of 2006, the chairperson should be an eminent academic or scientist or technologist or professional to be nominated by the President of the country. And here the President is the visitor to NIFT, please don't forget. And this led to controversy. And if you look at other controversial appointments, Gajendra Singh Chauhan was appointed as Chairman Governing Council of Film and Television Institute of India. You may ask, where is FTTI? FTTI is Autonomous Institute under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and this led to controversy, and FTTI was registered as a society under Societies Act. If you look at other organization, Ella Pragada Sudarshan Rao is a chairperson of ICHR, Indian Council of Historical Research. This is autonomous body under the Ministry of Human Resource Development. And the other controversy is with regard to Pahlad Nihlani, who is the chairperson of Central Board of Film Certification, and CPFC is nothing but censor board. It is a statutory body under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. World History, New Geography, Bifurcating Andhra Pradesh, the book written by Ram Ramesh. Ram Ramesh is a famous Congress leader, and the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh was divided in 2014 during the final months of UPA 2 rule, and Ram Ramesh wrote a book on this, World History, New Geography, Bifurcating Andhra Pradesh. Regional Connectivity Fund pertains to airline sector. Recently, the central government announced National Civil Aviation Policy. Under National Civil Aviation Policy, the rural airports or airports in the hinterland of the country will be connected, and the maximum fare will be rupees 2,500 per 1 hour journey, and the government will give viability gap funding, and for that purpose Regional Connectivity Fund is proposed. And if someone talks about RCF, this pertains to airline sector, please don't forget. Look into the next one. 11 persons were sentenced to life by the special sit trial court in Goldberg Society case. This Goldberg Society case occurred in 2002, and this is in Ahmedabad, and the incident occurred during Gujarat riots of 2002, and this Goldberg Society is situated in Ahmedabad. Hindustan Turboprop Trainer Aircraft, that is HTT-40. This was recently tested in Bengaluru, and this involves 80% of indigenous content. Indigenous content means it is developed by our own engineers, no imported content. That means 80% is our content, and it was built by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. HAL is Government of India enterprise under the Ministry of Defence, and HAL built this HTT-40 with 80% indigenous content. During May 2016, exports have fallen by 0.79%. This is a continuous fall in exports since December 2014. Please don't forget, in 2015-16, exports have fallen by 16% in overall value terms. Look into the next one. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, proposed to relax norms governing REITs. REITs are nothing but real estate investment trusts. You should not forget these two terms, REITs and InvITs. REITs are real estate investment trusts, where money is pooled and the money will be invested in real estate. They are nothing but instruments like mutual funds, but the difference is here the pooled money is invested in real estate. Similarly, InvITs are nothing but infrastructure investment trusts. Their money is pooled and invested in various infrastructure projects, and these two things please don't forget. Here the answer is estate. REIT means real estate investment trust. The President visited Namibia. It is the 5th largest producer of uranium in the world. The largest producer of uranium is Kazakhstan, followed by Canada. So, in uranium production, Namibia stands at 5th position. Namibia signed an agreement with India in 2009 for uranium supply, but Namibia could not export to India because it is a member of African Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty. As a member of African Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty, it is barred from trading uranium with India, as India is a non-signatory to NPT. Though India signed agreement with Namibia for supply of uranium, India is not getting uranium from Namibia because of ANWFZT, in which Namibia is a member. So, please look into this slide. This is the location of Namibia. This is situated in southwestern part of Africa. The first official transit to India's northeast via Bangladesh took place recently. First official transit when 1,000 tons of iron rods reached Ashuganj River Port in Bangladesh from Kolkata for onward journey to northeast. This Ashuganj River Port will be used so as to transport materials from Kolkata towards northeast. Please look into this slide. This is the location of Ashuganj, right? So, the materials from Kolkata will be transported to northeastern part of the country through Bangladesh, and this is a part of the India-Bangladesh Protocol on Inland Water Transit and Trade signed by both the countries last year. And through this Ashuganj River Port, distance to northeast will be reduced substantially. Axis Bank and Kasicon Bank signed a memorandum of understanding to help facilitate and enhance cooperation in areas of trade, investment and other businesses. This Kasicon Bank belongs to Thailand. Look into the next one, Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. This is an annual conference of tax administrators. This was held recently in New Delhi. And please don't forget, this is the joint initiative of both the direct taxes and indirect taxes. Please look into this slide. For direct taxes like income tax, corporation tax, Central Board of Direct Taxes is the organization. And for indirect taxes like service tax, excise duty, customs duty, the organization is Central Board of Excise and Customs, and these two organs are under Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance, and both came together to organize Rajaswa Gyan Sangam. And here the Prime Minister called upon the taxmen to increase the taxpayer base to 10 crore from around 5.43 crore. At present, 5.43 crore tax base is there in our country, and the Prime Minister gave a call to increase it to 10 crore. And the Prime Minister identified 5 pillars for taxmen, that is the rapid, revenue, accountability, probity, information and digitization. Look into the next one, name the bank which has set up rupees 200 crore fund for startups in the financial technology space. That is the State Bank of India. And if you are looking at the State Bank of India, please don't forget, it also started an exclusive branch for startups in Bengaluru. The name is InCube. So InCube is the initiative of State Bank of India, that is exclusive branch for startups in Bengaluru. Udta Punjab was released recently. The director is Abhishek Chaubey. This was made in 2 languages, Hindi and Punjabi. The actor is Shahid Kapoor, actresses Alia Bhatt, Kareena Kapoor, and director is Abhishek Chaubey. Why I asked this question is, this is into the news recently because of several cuts suggested by the Censor Board or Central Board of Film Certification. Which of the following is associated with the construction of 500 megawatt Sampur power project in Sri Lanka? In construction of Sampur power project in Sri Lanka, NTPC and Ceylon Electricity Board, they came together and formed a joint venture which is known as Trincomalee Power Company Limited. So NTPC is associated with construction of a power project at a place called Sampur in Sri Lanka. Look into the next one. As per the country's first national civil aviation policy, that is NCAP, 5/20 rule was liberalized. Previously, the rule was 5/20. That means for the domestic airlines to fly abroad, they should have minimum experience of 5 years. And second thing is, they should have minimum 20 aircraft. So now this 5 years rule was taken off, and now airlines can fly abroad after operating at least 20 planes or 20% of their total flying capacity, whichever is higher on their domestic routes. That means the aircraft which are operating 20 aircrafts on domestic routes can now fly abroad. There is no need to wait up to 5 years. So the 5 years clause was taken off. So virtually 5/20 became 0/20, and at present number of tickets sold are 8 crore per annum, and they will go up to 30 crore air tickets by 2022. Look into the next question, that is, name the state government which banned sale and use of e-cigarettes in the state. We are talking about Karnataka. What is meant by e-cigarette? E-cigarettes are nothing but battery powered cartridges, and basically they produce a nicotine laced vapor. And the decision was taken by Karnataka government as a large number of youngsters are being addicted to e-cigarettes. And e-cigarettes are nothing but they mimic the size and shape of cigarettes, and they contain minor quantity of nicotine. At the same time, it will also have some chemicals like propylene glycol or glycerol. And several youth are being addicted to this. That's why Karnataka government recently banned e-cigarettes. India, US, Japan and joint naval exercises are being held off the Okinawa coast in Japan in Western Pacific, and these are named Malabar Exercises. If someone talks about Malabar Exercises, these are the exercises involving India, United States of America and Japan, and this is leading to raising of tensions between China and USA because South China Sea, China has got several territorial disputes with other countries, and there is a feeling in some quarters that India is being dragged into this controversy. Right now it appears USA needs India more than India needs USA, because USA wants to contain the rise of China with the help of countries like India and Japan. SEBI recently proposed additional disclosure norms for InvITs. I have already told you InvITs are nothing but infrastructure investment trusts. Here the money is pooled and that will be invested in infrastructure projects. Right friends, look into the next one. Name the city where the Walt Disney Company opened amusement park with the largest overseas investment of $5.5 billion. This Walt Disney Company inaugurated the world's largest amusement park outside United States of America, that is Shanghai. Right friends, look into the next one, that is CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, which is headed by the Prime Minister. That is a normal platform for taking important decisions in our country. So, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved a disinvestment of 10% paid up equity in HUDCO. So, what is meant by HUDCO? HUDCO is Housing and Urban Development Corporation. This is under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation. The minister is M. Venkaiah Naidu. And if you look at HUDCO basically provides long-term finance for construction of houses for residential purposes in urban areas. Look into the next one. India is likely to impose anti-dumping duty at $1.22 per kg on import of a chemical used by refrigerant industry. And who is the final authority to impose it? That is Ministry of Finance, and the investigations will be done and recommended by the Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties. This is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. These things please don't forget. DGAD, Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties. This makes investigations and gives suitable recommendations, and finally Ministry of Finance imposes anti-dumping duty. So, anti-dumping duty is imposed when there is a case that the countries are exporting goods to our country. That means India is getting cheaper imports from other countries at less than market prices. If somebody wants to deliberately export products to India at less than market prices, then this anti-dumping duty can be imposed. And it is WTO compliant. Please don't forget the safeguard duty, anti-dumping duty, anti-subsidy duty or countervailing duty. These are WTO compliant if there is a proper case. Look into the next one. Name the country which presented the President of India with its highest honor, Grand Cross National Order of the Republic. The country we are talking about is Ivory Coast. It presented our president the highest honor of the country. In Champions Trophy hockey, India got a silver medal and India lost to Australia in the final. And the captain for that particular Champions Trophy matches is PR Srijesh from India. Please don't forget. name the Indian bank which has been named in a Hall of Shame list of 158 banking and financial institutions globally that have invested billions of dollars in companies making cluster bombs. So, SBI is one of the banks across the world which invested billions of dollars in companies making cluster bombs. Right, look into the next one. In its biggest ever buy, Microsoft purchased LinkedIn for $26.2 billion. And if you want more about Microsoft, Microsoft is the software giant started in 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen, and in recent times it lost its sheen because of several reasons. Now it is betting big on cloud services. Present CEO is Satya Nadella. Then if you look at LinkedIn, the CEO is Jeff Weiner, and it is the world's most valuable professional network with 433 million professionals with 105 million active users per month. So, LinkedIn is the world's most valuable professional network, and recently Microsoft decided to buy LinkedIn at $26.2 billion. Reserve Bank of India recently unveiled a new policy of a scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed assets, popularly known as S4A. If someone talks about S4A, please don't forget it is a scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed assets. This is another mechanism devised by Reserve Bank of India to solve the problem of large stressed assets with banks. And this is applicable when lenders' aggregate exposure to the individual account is more than rupees 500 crores. So, under this, the debt portion can be divided into two things. One is the sustainable debt, and the balance can be converted into equity. And sustainable debt should be minimum 50%. Keeping sustainable debt as minimum 50%, the balance can be converted to equity. That means for the balance quantity, banks or financial institutions can take ownership of the company, but minimum 50% of debt component is to be kept, which is known as a sustainable debt. Look into the next one. During President's visit to Ghana, 3 agreements were signed. And we have already discussed, President visited Ghana, Ivory Coast and Namibia, and this is the first ever visit of a president to Ghana and Ivory Coast, please don't forget. And to Namibia, the visit occurred after a gap of 2 decades by president of the country. And at the same time, please don't forget, India is the largest foreign investor in Ghana in more than 700 projects, and 222 of these are in manufacturing. New Development Bank plans to issue bonds in yuan currency initially, and with plans to release the bonds in local currencies of its member nations subsequently. So, if someone talks about the New Development Bank, the president is KV Kamath and the headquarters is Shanghai in China. And at the same time, please don't forget, NDB was established with initial authorized capital of $50 billion, and it initially granted loans to Brazil $300 million, India $250 million, South Africa $180 million, and China $81 million. These things please don't forget. DCP Bank launched Aadhaar-based ATM in Bengaluru. Which of the following is the main component of these ATMs? Basically, they don't require PIN, they don't require ATM debit card, and what is required is Aadhaar fingerprint. Basically, this Aadhaar based ATM works on Aadhaar number and biometrics, which are nothing but fingerprints. Right? So, DCP Bank launched Aadhaar based ATM in Bengaluru. So, it is a cardless and a pinless ATM. FASTags pertain to national highways. Basically, this is the mechanism which promotes cashless payments at toll plazas on national highways. All of you are familiar with the time taken at toll plazas nowadays. And with the introduction of this fast tag, automatically the money will be deducted from the smart cards. Right friends, look into the next one. Scientists from the University of East Anglia and India have launched a £8 million project to predict the monsoon rainfall by studying ocean processes in Bay of Bengal. This is the joint initiative of several organizations which include the Natural Environment Research Council, then Newton Fund, then Met Office of UK and India's Ministry of Earth Sciences. And the University of East Anglia will release underwater robots in Bay of Bengal to monitor how ocean conditions influence monsoon rainfall. Look into the last one. International Tennis Federation, that is ITF, banned Russian tennis player Maria Sharapova for a period of 2 years. And the decision was taken by World Anti-Doping Agency. World Anti-Doping Agency is situated in Montreal, Canada. And you may ask, what is doping? Doping is nothing but taking certain drugs which will increase physical capacity and mental function. And certain drugs are banned and they cannot be taken by sports persons, because by taking them what will happen? It will increase the physical capacity instantaneously. And the ban on Maria Sharapova, the famous tennis player of Russia, is effective from 26 January 2016. And in January, during the Australian Open, she was tested positive for meldonium. Meldonium is given to patients suffering from heart problems, and WADA, that is World Anti-Doping Agency, added this meldonium to the forbidden list on 1st January 2016, and the use of meldonium will lead to production of more red blood cells in the body, and ultimately that will increase oxygen supply to muscles, and in turn it will increase endurance of the sports persons. Right friends, so Maria Sharapova is banned for a period of 2 years because of the drug meldonium. Right friends, with this let us conclude questions and answers for 24th week. Have a nice day. Thank you.